Twins. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the village board meeting of June 22nd. Please join us in our pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, Mrs. Thomas.
Trustee Dawkins.
Here.
Trustee Purcell.
Here.
Trustee Washington.
Here.
Trustee Harris Jones.
Here.
Trustee Heiferman.
Here.
Trustee Roman.
Here.
President Hofeld.
Here, representing staff this evening. To my left is our village manager, Jim Marino. To my right is our village attorney, Chris Cummings. To the audience is right, our police chief, Denise McGrath, fire chief, Bob Grabowski, director of finance, Dennis Bubanek, economic and community development director, Angela Maceras, public works director, John Schaefer, and assistant village manager, Napoleon Haney. The minutes of June 8th, any additions or corrections? Trustee Dawkins.
No.
Trustee Purcell.
Nothing.
Trustee Washington.
Nothing.
Trustee Harris Jones.
No.
Trustee Heiferman.
Nothing.
Trustee Roman.
No.
I have a motion to approve the minutes, please.
Second.
It's been moved by trustee Purcell, second by trustee Harris Jones. Roll call, please.
Trustee Dawkins.
Aye.
Trustee Purcell.
Aye.
Trustee Washington.
Aye.
Trustee Harris Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Heiferman.
Aye.
Trustee Roman.
Abstain.
The minutes are approved. The claims list in the amount of $2,331,046.08. Again, questions or comments? Trustee Dawkins.
No.
Trustee Purcell.
Nothing.
Trustee Washington.
Nothing.
Trustee Harris Jones.
Nothing.
Trustee Heiferman.
Aye.
And trustee Roman.
Nothing.
May I have a motion to approve the claims list, please?
Second.
It's been moved by trustee Dawkins, seconded by trustee Purcell. Roll call, please.
Trustee Dawkins.
Aye.
Trustee Purcell.
Aye.
Trustee Washington.
Aye.
Trustee Harris Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Heiferman.
Aye.
Trustee Roman.
Aye.
Claims list is approved. Of that $2,331,000 claims list, two items comprise the majority of that list and both concern water. One is our payment, one of our payments to Burns McDonald, our engineering firm, for our new water source of $1,749,000. And the second, our monthly payment to the city of Harvey for water was $313,000. That amounted to a little over $2 million, or 88% of that claims list. Hear from the audience. If anyone in the audience would like to address the board on any subject not on the agenda, please raise your hand. If not, at this time, may I have a motion to approve the appointments of Marla Youngblood to the Senior Advisory Committee, Kathy Pagel to the Beautification Committee, and Cece Baloo to the Beautification Committee. May I have such a motion, please?
Second.
It's been moved by trustee Dawkins, seconded by trustee Washington. Roll call, please.
Trustee Dawkins.
Aye.
Trustee Purcell.
Aye.
Trustee Washington.
Aye.
Trustee Harris Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Heiferman.
Aye.
Trustee Roman.
Aye.
So the appointments are approved. If the individuals would please come forward to be sworn in. Cece? Anyone else? Up with the village clerk.
Having been appointed to the position of committee member for the district of committee for the beautification committee do hereby solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, that I will support the Constitution of the United States, Constitution of the State of Illinois, Constitution of the State of Illinois, and the village ordinances for Homewood, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office. Congratulations.
Thank you. Item number 9, presentation, citizen award to Mr. Todd Durans. Chief McGrath.
If I could have Mr. Todd Durans and his family come forward. Mr. Durans, if you could step over here, and if I could have the Fidanza family come forward and step over to the side. Thank you. We're here tonight to present Mr. Todd Durans with a certificate of appreciation. On May 31st, 2021, the Homewood Police Department responded to the report of a missing person who was possibly disoriented and unable to find his way home. While officers searched the area, the information was also posted on the police department Facebook page. The Facebook post was shared by the missing person's neighbor and later seen by Mr. Todd Durans. Mr. Durans later observed the missing person riding his bicycle on a busy street approximately 12 miles from Homewood. Mr. Durans ensured the gentleman was moved safely off the roadway, provided him with water, and alerted the Homewood Police Department. Mr. Durans also remained with the missing person until officers arrived. The certificate of appreciation is awarded to Mr. Todd Durans in recognition of his excellent judgment and swift action, which resulted in the safe return of a valued community member to his family. We are truly appreciative of everything you did that night to help us at the best possible outcome.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
And we have a very cute birthday tonight, so we have a birthday. Fidanza family, Mr. Fidanza was the one who was missing, and the family has expressed their great appreciation to the police department and the Durans for making this happen.
I'm glad you got them on.
That was really far out.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Item number 10, oaths of office. Chief Grabowski.
Good evening, thank you, Mayor. I have Daniel Ullman and Sean Santos, please step forward. I'll go back somewhere. We're a little rusty, we were supposed to rehearse. We missed our rehearsal time. Haven't done this in a while. I'd like to introduce to the board in the village our newest firefighters. The audience is left is Daniel Ullman, and to the right is Sean Santos. I'll start with Sean first. Sean has been in the fire service for 5 years now. He started his career as a part-time firefighter here in Homewood. After working for 3 years, Sean accepted a full-time position with the city of Markham, where he served for 1 year. In June of last year, Sean accepted a position here in Homewood, returning to us. And he's been here since June of last year. We're unable to swear him in due to the pandemic, so tonight is our first chance to do that. Sean currently holds a certification as both a basic and advanced firefighter in the State Fire Marshal's Office, and is also a state certified licensed paramedic with Ingalls through our Ingalls EMS system. Sean has also recently completed certification as a certified fire apparatus engineer, so he's able to drive the big fire trucks now. Sean is here tonight with his family, his wife Caitlin. Sean and Caitlin reside here in Homewood with their 3 children, Noah, who is 6, and 2 twin daughters, Ella and Lillian, who just turned 1. Daniel, to Sean's right, grew up in Flossmoor, where he graduated from HF. He then studied criminal justice and administration at Bradley University. While in college, Daniel volunteered for the West Peoria Fire Department. After graduating in 2015, he worked as a paid-on-call firefighter for the village of Flossmoor. As he took more classes, Daniel started working full-time on the contract at the Flossmoor Fire Department, and then he began testing for full-time positions. Daniel accepted the position of a full-time firefighter with the village of Homewood in November of last year. He currently holds certifications as both a basic and advanced firefighter. He is also licensed as a paramedic for Ingalls EMS. Like Sean, he has completed a certification as an FAE, fire apparatus engineer. Daniel currently lives in Aurora with his fiancee Emma and their dog Archie. This time I'd ask you guys to step over to the clerk for the oath of office.
Having been appointed to the position of firefighter paramedic
the position of firefighter paramedic
for the village of Homewood,
for the village of Homewood,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the village ordinances for Homewood,
and the village ordinances of Homewood,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of firefighter paramedic
to the office of firefighter paramedic
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my
Congratulations.
I didn't know we were pitching about mayor.
Congratulations to you. Welcome aboard. Chief McGrath, police officers.
Could I have Officer Alex Denman? This is Officer Alex Denman, Officer Sam Barrow, and Officer Ryan Rasmus. Alex Denman graduated from Lincoln Way Central High School in 2010. He obtained a Bachelor of Science in Law Enforcement from Western Illinois University in 2014. Officer Denman was hired by the Homewood Police Department as a police officer on August 31st, 2020. Officer Denman then attended the Cook County Sheriff's Police Training Academy, where he completed the 560-hour basic police recruit training course. Samuel Barham graduated from Bloomheim School in 2016. He obtained an associate degree in criminal justice services from Prairie State College in 2018. Officer Barham was employed by the Homewood Police Department as a part-time community service officer from November 2017 until April 2019. He left Homewood to attend the Chicago Police Academy, where he completed the 720-hour Metropolitan Police Training Program on October 30th, 2019. Officer Barham was hired by the Homewood Police Department as a police officer on December 21st, 2020. Officer Ryan Rasmus graduated from Homewood Flossmoor High School in 2011. He obtained an associate degree from Prairie State College in 2016. Officer Rasmus was hired by the Chicago Heights Police Department on May 7, 2018, and attended the Chicago Police Academy, where he completed the 720-hour Metropolitan Police Recruit Training Program on September 21st, 2018. Officer Rasmus was hired by the Homewood Police Department as a police officer on December 21st, 2020. All three of these officers completed the Homewood Police Department 16-week field training program in April of 2021 and have been on solo patrol since that time.
I state your name. Having been appointed to the position of police officer for the village of Homewood, solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
That I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
and the municipal ordinances of the village of Homewood,
and the municipal ordinances of the village of Homewood,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of police officer
the duties of police officer
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
I see you again. Welcome.
I'd like to give a quick shout out to Sergeant Kurt, who was promoted during COVID as well. Graciously declined to be sworn in front of me because we didn't want to take the spotlight away from these three gentlemen, but I'm putting the spotlight a little bit on him because he's a very valued member of our department.
Would you ask him to come up and give a speech?
What's that?
Come on up and give a speech.
12 years in school, right?
Congratulations, Kurt.
Thank you.
And if any members of the audience came just for the swearing in, feel free to leave right now. It's okay. You don't have to stay. Oh, could you get the doors, please? Oh. Mrs. Thomas, the omnibus vote, please.
The board is asked to authorize President Hofeld to enter into an agreement with the Cook County Land Bank Authority for the village to purchase the property at 2124 183rd Street for an amount of $40,000 contingent upon final review and approval of the agreement by the village attorney. This property is the site of the former Citgo gas station, which closed more than 5 years ago. The board is asked to authorize President Hofeld to enter into an agreement with Marin Ronan Limited of Western Springs for lobbying services from July 1 through December 31, 2021, in the amount of $3,000 per month. Her services replace those previously provided by Alfred G. Ronan Limited of Oak Park.
Thank you. Any comments or questions from anyone in the audience? If not, trustee Dawkins.
I'm excited that we are in a position to acquire this property that's at a really important physical position in our village, and hopefully we can make something good of that location, which is really an eyesore right now.
It requires extensive cleanup, but our assistant village manager, Napoleon Haney, is on it. So we'll get that done in short order. Trustee Purcell.
Agree 100%. I'm good.
Trustee Washington.
I agree too.
Trustee Harris Jones.
I also agree.
Trustee Heiferman.
Nothing.
Trustee Roman.
I don't have anything.
May I have a motion to approve the items on the consent agenda, please?
Summary.
Second.
Been moved by trustee Purcell, seconded by trustee Washington. Roll call, please.
Trustee Dawkins.
Aye.
Trustee Purcell.
Aye.
Trustee Washington.
Aye.
Trustee Harris Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Heiferman.
Aye.
Trustee Roman.
Consent agenda is approved. New business, redevelopment agreement with Homewood Investment Properties. This is the old Vice District, the Vice Brewing Company building. Vice, yeah. And it's now going to be called Homewood Brewing. Ms. Maceras.
Good evening. Thank you. Homewood Investment Properties is the owner of Homewood Brewing Company, and they are in the process of purchasing the commercial property located at 18027 to 18029 Dixie Highway. The property was most recently occupied as Vice District Brewing and Tap Room and has been vacant for over a year. The brewing equipment was sold at auction in December 2019, and Homewood Investment Properties estimates that they will invest approximately $1.2 million in the building to restore the brewery, renovate the space, and install a commercial kitchen. They plan to operate Homewood Brewing Company as a restaurant and brewery. They will brew and produce all types of beers on site, but they will also serve local craft products from other breweries, and they plan to operate as an incubator to allow local breweries access. They will offer a full menu for lunch, dinner, and after hours. The village has a recorded mortgage on the property of $20,000. The prior owner of Vice District Brewing had an incentive agreement with the village, which payments were to be dispersed incrementally. They experienced delays in opening the Vice facility, largely due to unforeseen permitting costs, and the village agreed to accelerate the last two payments into one final payout for the total of $20,000. At the same time, the village placed a forgivable loan and promissory note on the property to secure the performance of the incentive agreement. Homewood Investment Properties has agreed to pay the village the $20,000 upon purchase of the property in order to satisfy our mortgage. The village will reimburse Homewood Investment Properties for the $20,000 after build out is complete, and that will include installation of all the brewing equipment, installation of the commercial kitchen, and full certification by the village and Cook County Health Department that they meet all codes. And also the restaurant and brewery would have to be open to the public for business. Staff recommends that the village board approve the agreement, the investment and location of the restaurant and brewery within downtown Homewood enhance the village's economic viability, and it reoccupies a commercial space that's been vacant for over a year. The public to private funding is consistent with the level of financial incentive the village has offered to other businesses, and sales at the brew pub will generate annual revenue to the village in the form of the 1% sales tax and the 2% places of eating tax. This incentive was not included in the budget because it was not known at the time, but the $20,000 payment will be set aside, designated for payment to the business owner when they meet the terms of the agreement. And the business owner and manager of Homewood Investment Companies, Carmela Wallace, as well as Robert Lauderdale of Homewood Brewing Company, are in attendance tonight, and they can answer any questions and provide additional details.
Come on up here and tell us what you're going to be doing. Come on. We're excited about it as you are.
Good evening, board members and board results. First, I want to start off by talking a little bit about us, and this will kind of segue into what we're going to do with the brewery. Again, my name is Robert Lauderdale. I served 26 years active duty Air Force, 12 years as a federal civil service, and this is my retirement gig along with Carmela. I hold multiple master's degree in criminal justice, security administration, and a PhD in international security studies, as well as an associate's degree in culinary arts. Carmela holds a master's degree. She has an MBA, as well as a master's degree in project management. Our other partner, who happens to be her son, also has a master's degree in IT and project management. So what you're getting is you're getting a group of individuals who are dedicated and have worked hard to get to where they're at. So we're going to take the same energy that we did for our education and our professional careers into our second and in my case, third career. Now, having said that, our focus is to bring people into Homewood. We want to try to make Homewood the mecca for craft beer in the Chicago area. We're going to do this by a couple of different ways, as stated, using it as an incubator. We're going to have other people come from different areas to try their brewing. We're going to have our major brewing facility as well as a smaller one that people can come in. If there's anyone in the village who is enjoying craft brew, they can come in, they can try their craft. We're going to try to reach out to some of the colleges in the local area to see if they can do seminars in our space. Again, bringing attention to homebrewing. As far as the food, we're planning on using locally sourced material to again bring more money into the village and provide that home style kind of a feel that Homewood is known for. We want, again, our business, we want to be synonymous with Homewood as an entity.
And I'm from Homewood. Homewood was special to me. My son Jared, AKA Juice World, but put Homewood on the map a little bit. So it's my way to pay tribute to him as well. I was so happy to have the opportunity to come back to Homewood and to give and serve the community.
We've been excited about your project ever since we first sat down with you. You're not lacking any enthusiasm, I'll tell you that whatsoever. Now, what we're all thinking is, when are you planning on opening?
Well, we're looking at potentially within, after signing, maybe nine to 10 months after that. It just depends on the build out. We've already reached out to our different crafts, making sure that we'll have the material in place. But again, everything is contingent on getting into the facility.
Right now, it's like a 5-month backlog on equipment.
Sure.
Yeah, so we have a good start, but we'll still meet that 9 and 10 month objective. So we're starting.
We're delighted to have you. Any comments or questions from anyone in the audience? If not, Trustee Dawkins.
Very exciting. You have a big responsibility because you're using my town's name. It better be the best beer. But I trust with your enthusiasm, and you certainly have the background to make it a success. So I wish you all the luck in the world. And I look forward to coming to your establishment.
Purcell.
Absolutely. Super excited. I wish you the best of luck too. So just can't wait.
Trustee Washington.
I agree with everything that's been said. Good luck.
Thank you.
Trustee Harris Jones.
I'm excited also, and hopefully we will be invited for the grand opening.
Of course.
Trustee Heikkinen.
I agree with my fellow trustees. I do have one question. In the business plan, I assume a business plan's been reviewed. Are there any, in the plan, financially, are there any other financial incentives from the village included? Is there anything else that's been discussed? No. Okay, thank you.
Trustee Roman.
I have to say, I was excited even before hearing you guys speak tonight, and that made me even more excited hearing a little bit more details about your plans. I think it's going to be great, and I can't wait for you guys to open.
Thank
So thank you.
With all that being said, may I have a motion to approve the redevelopment agreement with Home and Investment Properties, please?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Trustee Purcell, seconded by Trustee Washington. Roll call, please.
Trustee Dawkins.
Aye.
Trustee Purcell.
Aye.
Trustee Washington.
Aye.
Trustee Harris Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Heiferman.
Aye.
Trustee Roman.
Aye.
Motion is approved. Welcome to Homewood officially.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Item number B, agreement for professional engineering services with Christopher Burke Engineering for a road stormwater project that has been long in coming, and we're finally getting there. Mr. Schaefer.
First, I'd like to say, good to see everybody back in one room. Everybody's healthy. We're doing good. So, as Village President Rich Holfeld said, this has been a long journey that we've been trying to get done. This is for a flooding issue in the 1500 block of Ridge Road. Also covers Burr Oak, Loomis, and the intersection of Loomis and Hickory. So, Public Works Department has been working with the Illinois Department of Transportation, IDOT, for several years in an attempt to mitigate the flooding that occurs along the 1500 block of Ridge Road. Christopher Burke Engineering of Rosemont, Illinois, was asked to prepare design engineering plans in preparation of the construction documents for this project. The impacted area includes Loomis Avenue and Hickory Road intersection, Burr Oak from Loomis Avenue to Hood Avenue, Linden Road and Loomis Avenue. After discussion between the village and IDOT, which resulted in a flood study conducted by IDOT, both parties have collectively developed a project plan to alleviate most of the flooding that occurs in this impacted area. To move this project forward, Public Works contacted Christopher Burke Engineering of Rosemont and requested a proposal to provide professional engineering services to design the project. The reason we did this is to help speed the project up because of the long time it takes to get things through the Illinois Department of Transportation Engineering Services. So the village will provide the engineering services and the bid documents to go out to bid. Once that is completed, we will in turn have an intergovernmental agreement with the Illinois Department of Transportation for the actual construction costs of the project. The village will pay, or the Illinois Department of Transportation will pay 70% of the project cost, and the village will pay the 30%. The village budgeted the engineering portion of the project in the 2021-22 CIP budget. Staff is recommending that the village waive competitive bidding due to the utilization of professional engineering services and authorize the village president to execute an agreement between Christopher Burke Engineering of Rosemont, Illinois, to provide professional engineering services for the Ridge Road Stormwater Improvement Project in an amount not to exceed $91,350. Here to answer any questions that the village board may have.
Any comments or questions from anyone in the audience? Again, trustee Dawkins.
No.
Trustee Purcell. Trustee Washington.
Nothing.
Trustee Harris Jones.
Nothing.
Trustee Heiferman.
There's a lot of people who will be really happy to see this through.
Yep.
Trustee Rowan.
I was gonna say the same thing. I know people that live right there that are affected by this and they're very excited for this. So thank you for all of your hard work.
And I just want to say too, this is just one of the projects that we're, currently working on. We're still trying to solve other areas in town that are flooding. We just haven't come up with a proper solution yet, but once we do, we'll bring those in front of the board too.
I think this is the major one. Good Lord, I remember the residents over there coming in and talking to me with most every rain, and it's not for lack of trying. It's working with IDOT. It's taken so long. When did we go up and meet with IDOT? 3 years ago?
Several years ago, yeah, probably. at least 3.
And it just languished, and we've been pressuring IDOT, and we're finally getting to the point where we're going to see something happen. So I'm very happy about that. With that, may I have a motion to approve the agreement for professional engineering services with Christopher Burke Engineering? And we can delete the attorney's review. He has already reviewed the agreement and says it is acceptable. So may I have such a motion, please?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved by trustee Dawkins, seconded by trustee Washington. Roll call, please.
Trustee Dawkins.
Aye.
Trustee Purcell.
Aye.
Trustee Washington.
Aye.
Trustee Harris Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Heiferman.
Aye.
Trustee Roman.
Aye.
Motion is approved. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
And now the highlight of the evening, our discussion for the municipal code updates. This is much similar to discussion of budget, and with the approval will come at our next meeting. Mr. Marino.
In 2019, village staff determined it was necessary to review the municipal code of ordinances in its entirety and consider utilizing a different company to codify and host the code online. The code has not been updated in more than 20 years and needed a full review and update. The current code was adopted in 1965 and revised in 1997. Because dozens of ordinances have been added to the code and state legislation has changed, the code needed to be reviewed for accuracy and compliance with state law. A review and general housekeeping of the code is always a good practice. We solicited requests for proposals from 4 companies that provide municipal codification services. We decided to change from our current company to a company called Municode. Municode offered a reasonable price and more features to manage and view the code on their website. The full review of the code is complete. Revisions have been made and we have the update available for the board to review and discuss tonight. And it's available on the website and will be brought back to you on July 13th for approval. This is a very long process. As I said, we started in 2019, but it was a very enjoyable process for Chris and I and the department heads, having gone through nearly every word in the code. We started with the staff attorney from MuniCode. They reviewed the code in its entirety, identified areas that needed to be improved, reworded, corrected, verified citations to the code against state law. And then their attorney made some recommendations. And then after that, the department heads reviewed their relevant sections of the code and made recommendations. And then after that, Chris and I spent a lot of time together reviewing the code and reviewed the recommendations from department heads and also from the MuniCode attorney, and then made our own. And we worked closely with a MuniCode attorney and made several revisions, which they now put together in the final code. This is a good process to go through periodically, cleans the code up, make sure it's up to date. What we did here was really a lot of housekeeping. There's not a whole lot of substantial changes. The categories that the changes fall into include correcting citations, terms and titles, correcting references to state statutes, complying with state statutes, moving sections from one location of the code to another for better organization, rewording or clarifying the intent of regulations, changing the language to reflect actual practice, and removing outdated language, such as a reference to cattle passes and a requirement to fasten your unattended horse. I don't do that anymore. Some of the major changes you'll see in the code are as follows. One of them is we removed all the references to the fees, fines, and charges. These were smattered throughout the code in different places, and sometimes they were difficult to find. So MuniCode recommended that we extract those from the code and refer to them in the code as a schedule of fees. So we have a complete list of all the fees and fines as a separate list outside of the code. So we won't have to look in the code anymore. And then what we'll do from now on is we'll have the board review the fee schedule once a year. At the time, we also review the budget. And if the board wants to make any changes to the fees, they could do it at that time on an annual basis when we approve the budget. We did something similar with a list of streets and intersections where we have stop signs, no parking signs, or other traffic signs. Each of those streets and intersections were listed individually for pages and pages in the municipal code. We took those out of the code and they're in there by reference now. We'll keep a separate list of all those locations. We removed language regarding the fair housing policy. It's no longer needed. That process for considering issues with fair housing is available through other agencies. We removed language regarding the health division. We no longer have an employee that conducts health inspections. We contract that out with the Cook County Department of Public Health. We removed language on the ban on assault weapons. And then we removed other regulations that have been overtaken by state law. Some examples are regulations of massage and tattoo parlors, telecommunications, and cable franchises. So as I said, this is available for the board to review. It's on our website. It'll be brought to you next month for approval. And I want to ask Chris if he has anything to add.
This is not a glamorous project, but it was a very necessary project. As Jim and I went through these things with all the quality time that we spent together, I mean, just to give you an example, there's whole lists of fire lanes, and all the stuff about fire lanes all referred to stores that had been long gone, like don't park, in front of Robert Hall Village or Builders Square or all these other places. So that's the kind of stuff that was in there. All that stuff has been moved, but the main point is just to make it easier for the folks who are in the village and the village staff to find things. So, if it's, whether it's scheduled stop signs or one-way streets or village parking lots or anything like that, we tried, and it's not perfect, it's not done yet, but I think we've got about the 90% solution at this point. So we wanted to go live with it just to get this going. The other thing that we looked at doing, when I started a long time ago here, actually the entire code was a PDF file. And it was over 1,000 pages. So it was very difficult for anybody to navigate. Everybody in the village and the staff and myself had these big binders that you had to go and look up and update once a year. Several years ago, we moved, so at least the village code is now in HTML, so it's now searchable on the web. But the zoning ordinance is still out there as a big PDF file. So that's one of the projects that we're going to be able to integrate in the future once the zoning ordinance is updated. That will also be searchable HTML on the website. So instead of having to download this, 400 or 500 page PDF file, everybody will be able to get better access to all the village statutes. So thank you to Jim for his patience as I picked apart stuff, and we did a good job of driving each other crazy for many months.
Then some good laughs too.
Yeah.
I would also like to acknowledge trustee Hyperman's contribution. He represented the board in reviewing this as well. So thank you, Jay. Any comments or questions from anyone in the audience? Yes, sir.
Address the gender trials. Still a work in progress.
Just looking at it the other day.
Yeah. I got it.
Anyone else? Trustee Dawkins.
Thank you for all the work that you all did on this. As is indicated from the removal, and thank you for removing the portion about shuttle passes and whatnot that is woefully outdated. One of the purposes of this obviously was to make it so that residents could look for things and find them easier. I think that this is going to do that. Someone asked me about our fees and I tried to look and I couldn't find them. But now having them in the separate document will make it much easier for people to find what they need to find. And I appreciate that. I also like the fact that we're doing this in sort of this bifurcated process where we talk about it and you present it and then we vote on it later. I think that provides the board and the public with an opportunity to review everything. So, you all did a great job with this. Thank you. And as much as you can look forward to reading a municipal code in the future, I certainly do look forward to ourselves and the residents being able to find things easier and when questions are presented to be able to answer those. So thank you very much.
Trustee Purcell.
Absolutely, much needed housekeeping, and thank you for doing that.
Trustee Washington.
I know it was a tedious process, so thank you.
I think they said they prefer to have a root canal next time. rather than this. Trustee Harris Jones.
Thank you for all of your hard work.
And trustee
Greatly
Hyman.
appreciate it.
I'm a little late on this, but I want to point out a couple of things in section 231. A little uncomfortable with the, kind of goes with the horse references, is that the village president, with the approval of the board, could issue an order for the police chief to bring a member of the board, if he can be found within the village, to the village hall. I just think that's probably should be removed. I can't imagine the circumstances that I want.
Never occurred.
Yeah, I realize.
Put it on the list.
Either way, and then, and I know I brought this up before, sections 4-131, and I'll add 6-283 to it. I don't understand the logic behind liquor sales and public dances being restricted on Sunday mornings. It just seems like
blue laws.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like it's something that's current. If it's possible to adjust that, that'd be great.
We discussed, you brought that up at a previous meeting. We discussed that and, I talked about it with Rich and staff, and we'll make that change.
Okay.
There are other changes that need to be made that the timing of which didn't allow us to incorporate it in the complete revision. So there's other changes that we're going to bring to you that will be amendments to the revised municipal code.
Okay.
And you'll see that in the pending list, and the liquor license ordinance or times are one of those.
All right, and one other thing is just a question about the village structure. The building division is managed by the fire chief, and that is a change that's in the current. And I know that that was something that was done for whatever circumstances are current, but is that, should that be a permanent change?
Works very well.
Will it make it difficult, perhaps, if the current chief retires someday? Is it going to make it difficult to recruit somebody?
I can speak to that.
Yeah.
this is a snapshot of how things are set up today. And I think it's important from a legal standpoint that the code should reflect how it's set up today. This doesn't mean it can't be changed in the future. The board adjusts the municipal code all the time. But we wanted to make sure that it was accurate and it accurately captured how the village is structured today. There used to be a community development department, and there really isn't that anymore. We have got Ms. Maceros who does that work, but she doesn't have anybody that reports to her specifically. So that things have changed over time. You know, we used to have a planner. We don't have a planner right now. There's all these different things. So, but I do think it's important to accurately reflect the way the village is structured today, and we can change it if we need to.
Well, I think it was a tremendous effort to get through it all, and I applaud you.
Trustee Roman.
I just also want to thank you for all of your hard work and also thank you for always breaking it down for us to help us so we didn't have to sit and read the 700-page document and go word for
Just
word.
happy you can have Sunday morning dances with liquor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, can't wait.
With the- We will have the approval of the municipal code revisions at our next meeting. General board discussion, trustee Doug, trustee Purcell, trustee Washington,
Nothing.
trustee Harris Jones,
I have nothing.
trustee Hyperman, trustee Roman.
Nothing.
I have a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
It's been moved by trustee Purcell, seconded by trustee Washington. Roll call, please.
Trustee Dawkins.
Aye.
Trustee Purcell.
Aye.
Trustee Washington.
Aye.
Trustee Harris Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Hyperman.
Aye.
Trustee Roman.
We stand adjourned. Thank you all.
Yeah, there's a big section that takes.
The water.
We're a little close here.